Hello, everyone. It's Michelle here from IELTS Advantage, and today we're talking to Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Good. Can you introduce yourself to everyone? Just tell us where you're from and what you do for a living.
I'm from Russia, so I've been living in Moscow for the last 10 years. And so far, I moved to the UAE like 4 months ago. So I've been living in Dubai for a while now.
And what do you do in Dubai?
I'm a sales manager. So I work with businesses and we sell software
And do you do your work in English?
most of the time. Even though all my colleagues, they're Russians, so we speak Russian at
Okay.
work.
And did you need IELTS for your work or for something else?
I needed to get my IELTS to actually have plans to immigrate to Canada or maybe Australia. So thinking about going there. That was the purpose.
All right. And you recently passed your IELTS test, didn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did.
Can you share your scores with everyone?
So I got 8 in listening, 8 in reading, 7.5 in speaking, and 7.5 in writing.
That's excellent. Those are really good scores.
Oh yeah. I couldn't believe myself when I saw them. I'm like, what? No, it couldn't be true. I switched off the phone. I'm like, open it up again. Like, no.
Was it your first time taking the test, or had you taken it before?
Actually, it was the 8th attempt.
Oh.
So I have taken it multiple times.
And do you remember what scores you got the very first time you took the test?
It was so bad. It was so bad. For speaking, I got 5.
Wow.
Yeah, for listening, I got, I don't know, maybe 6, something like this. It was awful.
And when you joined IELTS Advantage, what was the area of the test that you focused on most?
I wanted to improve my writing. That was the weakest part. So I didn't really know how to write, the grammar and spelling was so bad, and the whole structure thing. So that what I was targeted for a long time.
So what was, for you, what was the hardest thing to improve about your writing?
The hardest thing to improve about the writing. Spelling was a big deal, for sure, and obviously grammar, because there are so many rules. I still make lots of mistakes with grammar.
I think I remember correcting one of your essays and telling you you had to fix your spelling.
Yeah. At the beginning, everyone, like all the teachers, you said the same thing. Like, hey, you should, work on your spelling. It was so bad.
How did you improve your spelling?
I kind of created my own way to approach that issue, which was I decided to write down all the words that kind of sound like words that have complicated spelling. And I wrote them down, and then I record them on a player, and then I played them back. So I listened them, and I would write them, and then I would check the list with right spelling and what I have written, and then I would compare. Like, here's the mistake. All right, we should do it once again, and I've been doing it for more than a year daily. It took so much.
Yeah, but it worked.
Absolutely. After a year, then I started to get comments from you guys that, hey, your spelling actually pretty good.
What about
but later on, still just want to add another thing. Then the problem was not really the spelling, but typos. It's another thing.
Did you do the paper delivered test or the computer delivered test?
I never done paper-based. It was always the computer-based because it seemed to me that it's just easier.
And how did you fix your typos? Because, you know, the examiner doesn't know whether it's a typo or a spelling mistake. We just have to consider it a spelling mistake. Yeah. So how did you improve your typing skills or stop making typos?
Typos is another thing. And I believe that, you know, we have those typos because we run out of time and we don't have time to check. It was a big issue to get the writing done faster. That's why I've been asking you quite like a few times, like, Michelle, can you, you know, suggest, I like, do I need to really do that planning, right? Because it takes time.
And did you plan? Like, how did you manage your time so that you had time to check your writing at the end?
The last time when I got 7.5, I did my writing. I mean, I did my planning for the essay part, and for the letter, actually, I didn't plan because I had like 13 minutes to write the letter. But I spent a lot of time on planning the essay, like, because the question was super weird, and I did at the beginning. Okay, like I did one version of planning for agree. I did the planning for agree. Then I looked at it. I thought that it's not good, so I did another planning for disagree, and then I have chosen the one that is better. It took
which one was better, the agree or the disagree? Which one did you go with in the end?
The second one. I don't remember what was the second, but yeah, the second.
Well, you know, a lot of students are reluctant to plan. I think for the reasons that you talked about, because there is the time pressure and you don't want to run out of time. But I think, you know, you're a good example of how important planning is. When you start with a good plan, you have a good essay in the end. But if you skip the planning bit or you don't have a good plan, then it's almost impossible to write a really good essay. There's just too much that you have to focus on: the ideas, the structure, the spelling, the grammar. So being able to get the planning done and out of the way, then you can just focus on the other things. And it worked for you. Yeah. How about for the letter? Like, what was most difficult for you when you were trying to increase your general training task 1 letter writing?
Not the introduction, but like first sentence after the greeting. There is the first sentence.
Purpose
yeah,
statement.
the purpose statement.
Okay.
At times it's a bit complicated to actually make it clear. There's so many things to. It's important to hit all those bullet points correctly. And the most difficult thing for me was to come up with ideas. To be honest, at times there's like I can't think of anything to write.
I think that a lot of students struggle with generating ideas for the task 1 and for task 2 essays. So would you have any advice for other students who might struggle with generating ideas?
Well, you know, IELTS Advantage actually helped me a lot because recently you kind of released new thing where you write together with one of the teachers those letters, those essays, and I believe that it is super helpful because that's how you actually learn how to generate good ideas, and you can distinguish good ideas from bad ones.
Okay, so you're talking about the live Cambridge practice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so those were helpful. You found them beneficial?
That's for sure.
How about any of the other live lessons? I think I saw you in some of my speaking examiner seminars.
Speaking is those speaking sessions.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they're really good. I mean, you know, I can think of anything else that would be that beneficial. because of the feedback that you receive, and just by like seeing older students and how they answer and what feedback they are getting. I mean, I believe it's crucial to actually have someone that would give you feedback, and if you do it on your own, you can do it forever. And you don't want that.
Was there any feedback that you got about your speaking from any of the teachers that helped you increase your scores?
Feedback, well, yeah, they lately they've been telling me that your speaking is pretty good. So like how you managed to do that? Have you been living somewhere, I don't know, abroad? I'm like, no, I've been living in Moscow for years.
Your speaking is very fluent, and you said you got a 5 the first time you took the test, and to listen to you now, I mean, that between a band 5 level and the way you're speaking now is a massive difference. So for anybody who is sort of struggling with speaking and with fluency, what advice would you give someone?
Well, what I've been doing for a long time, I would just like find IELTS questions like on my phone, and I would answer them out loud, basically. And I've been doing it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, almost daily.
Okay. So you're just
besides the speaking practice on IELTS Advantage, because that's where you can actually get ideas and get the structure, but you still have to practice. That's one thing. That's what I've been doing for a long time.
So you're just getting used to speaking in English for 20 or 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, at least. And then I also met a guy on IELTS Advantage, because you have those speaking practice, right? Like sort of not lessons, but where people get together and they have to, talk to each other.
The fluency practice session.
Exactly. That was really good. But I actually met a guy there, Sharif. Hey, Sharif, if you hear me, he became my friend. He was the first friend like where I met over the internet, and we would just schedule the time, and every weekend we would go on Zoom and we would spend like 1 hour and a half just asking each other questions, giving feedback. It was super helpful. Even though we have like 7 hours different time difference, we still managed to do it.
Awesome. Where is Sharif now? Is he still preparing for his IELTS test? Do you know?
I think so. Yeah, he's in Malaysia.
Okay.
He's in Malaysia.
Excellent. So, if there is someone who is just starting their IELTS preparation now, you've been at this for a while. What advice would you give to someone who's just beginning?
Find someone that like teachers, people that are professional, so they would they are people that can give you a really good feedback on your writing, on your like speaking and so on. Because otherwise, I believe it's so difficult to do it on your own if you're not a native speaker, if you haven't learned English at the university or wherever. Then it's really complicated because there's so many things involved, and getting high score is difficult. Getting 6, cool, no problem, but like getting 7s, 8s, it's difficult. Yeah. Better to find teachers for sure.
And you got 2 8s, didn't you? Reading and listening, you scored an 8 in each. Of the two, reading or listening, which one did you have to work harder at?
Reading for me was much easier, because I've been reading in English even before I decided to do the IELTS. I would read like 4 hours, no problem. It was kind of easy. Listening it's a bit complicated, was at least.
Were there any certain types of questions that you struggled with in the listening?
Well, listening, there's spelling involved in listening.
Yes, you're right.
Exactly. And my spelling was super bad. So like a year and a half, a year ago, I couldn't imagine getting 8 in listening because I've been doing those practices and my spelling was always incorrect.
It's really disappointing. I mean, I always remember this from teaching when we're doing practicing listening tests, and students would get the right answers, but they'd spell it wrong and then get the whole question wrong.
Exactly. English language is crazy, like regarding spelling. Like there are so many words that you just have to know how they spell. They just crazy spelling.
Yeah, especially with the vowel sounds, right? Because you have the sound, but the spelling of the sound can be any number of different vowels or vowel combinations. Yeah, so improving spelling is definitely also going to help you increase your listening score, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. The spelling is number one. I don't know. It's for writing. It's for listening. That's why I've been spending so much time on like taking notes, writing down those words, and then playing them back. Is I don't know. I have like maybe 2,000 words or something.
Oh wow!
And I've been playing them back again and again and again and again. My whole phone, like with those recordings, is crazy.
So now that you're no longer preparing for the IELTS test, what's next for you, Alex?
Well, I just want to mention that I still, watch videos on IELTS Advantage because they're really helpful to improve general level of English, because I still have to do my work, and my English is still far from being perfect. So yep, that's one thing. And yeah, these days I spend time searching for jobs in Canada at that time.
So whereabouts in Canada do you want to move? Do you have friends or family there already?
I have a friend living there. I think about moving to Vancouver. I'm not sure if I will like it. It's so rainy, it seems.
Yeah, it's a little bit rainy. I lived in Vancouver for a year and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But now you live in London. It's pretty similar, no?
It's pretty similar, yeah. Cool and rainy. Yeah, it's raining today actually.
Not surprised. And we have sun 360 days a year.
That is my ideal weather. If I never saw rain again. I lived in Saudi Arabia for 3 years and the weather was my favorite part of it. I just loved it, all that sunshine. So enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I'm trying.
All right, Alex, any last parting words, words of wisdom that you'd like to leave everybody watching with?
I don't know, just keep doing, keep preparing little by little, step by step, every day. Just move forward, Well, and without IELTS Advantage, I'm 100% confident that I wouldn't get it. I wouldn't get even close to it.
Well, we're really glad that we could help you out. Are there any particular teachers whose feedback you found really useful that you'd like to say hello to?
I really learned a lot from Tom's videos, the videos that he made some time ago, maybe a year ago or so, when the pandemic just started, regarding grammar, daily clinics they called. Yeah. So I believe that all your material is really good, but those clinic, I don't know, I just learned a lot from them because there's so many examples.
And Tom's really good at explaining grammar, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will pass that on to him.
And I had a chance to tell him thank you when the last time I booked that mock speaking. Yeah, I said Tom, you helped me a lot.
Oh, nice. All right, Aleksandr, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
No problem at all, Michelle. Thank you so much for actually inviting, to do that video.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really, really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very, very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very, very, very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.